Hey, it's Jim Bunce again from Marlow Heights. I hope you're doing well. I'm in Montego Bay, Jamaica, and I promised that I would do a video that told a little bit about the area and some of the interesting things. So here we go. Montego Bay is actually the second largest city in Jamaica. The first largest is Kingston, which is a ways away from where we are. The traffic here is absolutely horrible. They typically drive from the right side of the car rather than the left, as we do in the United States, and they drive on the left side of the road. Many of the streets are about 2 cars wide, and they pass each other in rather scary ways. When I have been going out to job sites and I'm able to look out the windshield, quite honestly, I feel like I have had a treadmill workout by the time I get there, because my heart rate goes way up in riding with these folks. But they know what they're doing, and it works. It works for them. I wrote down some stuff so I would not forget. When Melissa hit here in late October, it was the strongest hurricane to hit land, or at least tied for the strongest hurricane to hit land, with sustained winds of about 185 miles an hour. Primarily the western side of the island, where we are, is what got hit. The eastern side was relatively untouched, just lots of rain. And the higher you go up into the mountains, the worse the damage is. And it is very bad down here. Tomorrow we're going partway up in the mountains to do some work, and I hope to be able to bring you some video footage from there as well. So the temperatures have been around in the mid-80s. The humidity feels like it has been in at least the mid-80s, with the sun shining brightly most days. Fortunately, there has been a breeze, which helps tremendously so that it is not stifling in this area. One of the amazing things when we go out on or been on jobs, people come by and ask if we can help them because they have the same problems, no roofs or other sustained damage. And they already have a list that is maxed out for the number of jobs that can reasonably be completed. And folks say, well, I understand. I'm so thankful that you are helping my neighbor. That has been their attitude throughout. It is absolutely incredible to see the graciousness of these Jamaican people and how nice they are, how kind they are, genuinely kind from their heart. They're not just putting on. But to hear somebody say, I'm so thankful that you are helping my neighbor, even though you can't help me, is not something that we hear very often. One of the principal religions here besides Christianity is Rastafarianism. And if you're familiar with Bob Marley, that is what he believed in. It is different than Christianity. I'll let you look up what all of the details and so forth are of Rastafarianism. And in just a moment, I'll be showing you a statue of one of the main symbols of Rastafarianism, and you will immediately hear some of the Christian language, although it is certainly not Orthodox Christianity, if Christianity at all. Let's see. Well, let's get into these pictures here. Let me turn this around the other way. This is a car I have never heard of. It's actually a little pickup truck, and it's called a Morris Minor. Morris Minor. And the Jamaican fellow who was working with us last week actually had one of these. His father did. It was not a truck like this one. It was a station wagon, which essentially I think was a 4-door vehicle that the kids all piled in. This one sold records and probably played music while it was driving down the street. It's a cool little car. Never heard of it before. They're no longer in business. I thought that was fascinating. And all of these things that we're going to look at are outside of the hotel where we are staying, and I find them to be very cool symbols of different things that you'll find here in this area. You'll see here some shoes that maybe you had, as I did. They are called Clarks. They had the crepe sole and were just ankle high, and they were suede, so that's why the toothbrush is back there, so that you could brush the suede. And very popular here, and as they were for me, particularly back in 5th, 6th, 7th grade. This crocodile, and there is one lurching over here in the weeds, is here because there are crocodiles on this island. Had no idea. They are called freshwater crocs. Have not seen any live ones. Hope that I don't. They don't look very friendly even on statue. That might be the exception to the friendliness here in Jamaica. Over here we find the Reggae Girls. The Reggae Girls soccer team went to the World Cup and believe they made it to the quarterfinals, which is exceedingly rare for a third world country to make it that far in athletics. I can't remember the year that happened, but it was not real long ago. They also have the Reggae Boys. I don't believe that they have made it. And their symbol is a lion or a panther. I'm not sure what exactly that is. It is a big cat that looks like it would eat me were it alive. And these are made out of, if you can look a little bit closer here, I'll see if I can come closer. You'll see that it's made out of just junk, but it looks really cool. These are bolts that have all been welded together, and the girl is made out of scrap metals, and her hair is in chains versus the dreadlocks like you might see with Bob Marley. The soccer ball itself has been made out of nuts that have been welded together and then painted with the colors of the Jamaican team. Here is the symbol for Rastafarianism. This is the Lion of Judah, is what it is called. And you will find it on most Rastafarian kinds of literature or shirts or wherever you will see the name, much like we would use the cross in Christianity. And then here's the crocodile that's lurching in the weeds and just waiting for a tasty morsel. Fortunately, I am a little bit more than a morsel. I said that to some of you that I would be, wearing my Speedos, and I want you to know that I did not lie to you. I will show you. See, I am actually, if I can get the camera down here, wearing Speedos. Just wanted you to know that I was telling you the truth. Of course, these are the Speedos that will not make you throw up as I wear them. They have a couple of cars up at the front of the hotel that are now covered because it's been raining today. One of them is a 1953 Singer, and one like it got here because Katharine Hepburn visited this island. She loved to drive and was told that on this island the only small car that she could get was one that had a tin roof with no air conditioning. So she brought her 1953 Singer over here, and that is something that most of us do not have the luxury to do, but they have a similar car to hers setting out. Now, none of these vehicles drive. I don't think they even have engines in them, which is kind of a shame because that would be fun to take them for a ride, I think, if somebody else maybe was driving. I have no desire to drive here in Jamaica. And around the other side of the hotel, which I will not go right there, is a van. It's probably like Bob Marley drove, a Volkswagen bus, and has the pop-up top. And I would imagine that the real bus probably smells still of marijuana because he smoked a lot of it. And that's one of the tenets of the Rastafarianism, is that they do tend to smoke a lot of pot because they say that it helps them to connect on a esoteric or existential kind of level. And it does appear that the folks around Jamaica have probably given up regular tobacco for Lent, and that has not kept them, however, from smoking. You will smell marijuana quite often, just from place to place, whether it's around the hotel or down the street or out in the parking lot or any place else that we have been. That is about all that I have that I can share right now that I'm aware of that may be of interest to you. It may not, but I thank you for listening in, and do continue to pray for us, please, as we do this work that is so vitally important and yet so difficult because we can only do such a small amount compared to the amount of damage that has been done here. And so until next time, I bid you fair adieu and God's blessings upon you. I do have a couple of addendums to put on this video from today. The first is that yesterday I mentioned, or day before yesterday, I mentioned that it was the Pacific Ocean that was behind me. It was not. It's the Caribbean. I knew that, and I apologize for misleading you, any of you, with my geographical inefficiencies. And each floor of the hotel has a different statue to various famous people from Jamaica, and these are made out of recycled materials. The artist is absolutely incredible, and so this is arguably the most famous person from Jamaica, Mr. Bob Marley, and you can see his dreadlocks there. And then one of the other things that I think is really cool, if you remember the movie Cool Runnings that had John Candy starring in it, for about the Jamaican bobsled team, and so they have a tribute to them here as well. The other statues and folks, I'm not sure that we would know who they were necessarily. I just wanted to show you these two as a sample of them having pride in their country and the things that they have done. It's a very small nation, although it's one of the larger islands in this area. It is still very small compared to what we are used to with the big land mass of the United States. Alrighty, take care.